Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. This is another TCG standard format deck profile with nationals being around the corner, and I believe there's some nationals this weekend. They're all in standard format, so a majority of decks that I will be reviewing, since I have free time now, is standard. So yeah, this is a list that was very popular around cities, and it eventually died down due to it not having a good matchup against Greninja, which is probably becoming one of the most hyped decks right now. Has a 50-50 matchup against Trev and Night March, which are the two other top meta decks. However, I feel like if you play it smart, you have a good chance of winning all those matches, because against Trev, of course you're hitting for weakness, and now lists are starting to cut the weakness policies, and they're starting just to run straight bursting balloon. A majority of times you are still getting knockouts, so you can withstand the bursting balloon and still knock them out and leave them in a bad position. Night March, you just don't bench any EXs, just use straight Yveltal and Zorua. And against Greninja, you just really have to try to knock out Froakies and Frogadiers as soon as possible. And if they do manage to set up Greninjas, stream Hex Maniac, try to do it every turn, and that's your best bet of winning. So, if you don't know by the title, this is Yveltal, Zoroark, Gallade, Marowak. So let's get into it. We run 2 copies of Oblivion Wing Yveltal and 1 copy of Fright Night Yveltal. Oblivion Wing Yveltal is really good against the Night March matchup. This is what you should just be attacking with, and it's good to get and accelerate energy. Fright Night Yveltal really good against a Rayquaza matchup, which you also do have a bad matchup against, but due to the hype of Night March and Greninja, the chance of you seeing that is very slim, but there might be a chance of you playing it. If you do, we run Parallel City, and this Fright Night Yveltal is really good in that matchup. Just 1 copy of Yveltal EX. 2 really isn't necessary. 1, for the fact being that since Night March is so popular, and Yveltal having the Joltik weakness, you really don't play it in the Night March matchup. It's good against Greninja since it's a bulky attacker. It's good against Trev. If you manage to set up a Trev, it sweeps through Trev. And it's probably good against every other matchup. So there's just one Yveltal EX is really necessary. A 2/2 Zoroark line. Zoroark is of course a good attacker. Its ability is amazing. So yeah, we just run a 2/2 line in there. A 1 Gallade, of course, is Premonition, and it's good against the Mega Manectric matchup. Its Premonition is also really good under item lock, so yeah. And a 1 Marowak. What Marowak does is, I'm pretty sure, prevent all effects of attacks done to you or your hand. Sorry for the glare. Yeah, so it's really good against the Seismitoad Giratina matchup. However, it is a easy Lysander target, so if you do, and it's a stage 1, so when you do maxes it out, you just get that feeling of, wow, I really just maxed it out at stage 1. However, it is good in a majority of matchups. If you do go against Giratina, you can still, if this is out, you can still play double colors, play tools, play stadiums. So yeah, Marowak is also, and also all I did was just take out 1 Gallade. This was before a 2/2 Gallade, so if you don't like the idea, you can just easily put 1 Gallade back. 1 Seismitoad. Seismitoad is good in every matchup, and plus we do run DCE, so why not? And it's also not a bad starter. So, and 1 Druddigon. Druddigon is for the mainly for the Vespiquen matchup. and Night March matchup. It's an attack that's 20 plus 70 if you just had a Pokemon knocked out. If your Pokemon just knocked out your active Pokemon. It's good because it's a non-EX attacker. You're only offering one prize, and yeah. And last but not least, just one Shaman EX. 2 really isn't necessary. Same with Yveltal. You really only need Shaman for turn 1 to get out the Gallade, but a majority of the times you can get out Gallade or Marowak without Shaman. So and plus, Shaman is also a liability. It's an easy 2 prizes. So yeah, this is just the Pokemon line. It's like every other YZG list. However, I've seen some that don't run Jordagon, don't run a Toad, especially don't run Marowak. If you don't like the idea of Marowak, you can just cut it for the second Gallade. So yeah, onto the supporters. A 2 Sycamore. You really don't need 4 or 3 because this is like a turbo deck with Acro bikes, Trainer's Mail. So you only need 2. 2N, of course, with it being back in the format. N should be in every deck. So yeah. 2 Maxis. This is pretty much our draw engine for the deck. Maxis, of course, to get out Gallade or Marowak. 1 Lysander, standard. 1 Xerosic, good against Giratina and Toad. 1 AZ. 1 Giovanni's. Giovanni's is a surprisingly good supporter. It does have the good ability of you can drop to 5 cards, but you can also use its other ability where you do 20 more damage. We do run Muscle Band in this deck, so with Gallade, if you have a Muscle Band attached to it, you're doing, and you use a supporter, of course, you're doing 150. And if you if you manage to get a Giovanni's, you can use this plus 20 and do 170. You can knock out a lot of EXs, not a majority of them. Like, you won't be able to knock out Toad since it has 180, but you can knock out a majority that do have 170. And last but not least, 1 Hex Maniac, of course, good. Just a standard supporter list, and Yveltal's Gallade. Now onto the items. There's a lot. This is why this deck might have trouble against Trevenant, since it is very heavy item reliant. 4 Ultra Ball, standard. 4 VS Seeker, standard. Let me fix this real quick. 4 Trainer's Mail, because you want the maximum consistency in this deck. This deck does not run Puzzle of Times. It's really not necessary. It's just as consistent. Plus, I'd rather you basically switch out the puzzles for the Acro bike. Acro bike does make it more consistent. Puzzles are nice, but they really aren't necessary. 4 Compressors, standard item lineup in Maxis and Archie decks. 3 Acro bikes. Let's see if this is in the shot. Yep. 2 Muscle Bands and 1 Fighting Belt. The Muscle Bands are really nice in this deck over the Fighting Belt because you can also attach it to Zoroark. Zoroark isn't just for the free retreat. It's also a really good attacker. Plus, this Muscle Band makes it hit magic numbers. It's really good against Water Box, Trev. Yeah, so that's why 2 Muscle Bands over 2 Fighting Belt. 2 Float Stones, good for the Zoroark, of course, good for Marowak. So yeah. 1 Super Rod to get back cards you've discarded in order to get the Maxis, which happens a lot. And 1 Parallel City. The reason why this Parallel City over Reverse Valley is mainly for the Rayquaza matchup. Like I said, it is a bad matchup. They just set up way too fast. However, Parallel City does slow them down. And I'm gonna just put the energies right here. Yeah, you only run 6 dark energy. 7 isn't. 6 is just fine, and 4 DCE. So, guys, this is YZG with Marowak. I hope you enjoyed this list. I feel like it would be a good play. So test it out for yourself and stay tuned till next time. Peace.